everyone, how's it going? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today. So just when I think that I'm not going to be able to have a video out this weekend, Jade decides to throw something else at me. She's like, no problem, I can help you with that. Let me get the hood prop up and I'll tell you what happened. So, that's not necessarily going to be this whole video. We're going to do something else while we're in that vicinity. But this is the line that goes to the HVAC controller for your air position. And an entire section of that line broke off and actually landed down by the thermostat. The other end of it is in this harness. And this is where it goes from there, I don't know. But it ends up in the car somehow. But so a section from about here up to here completely broke off. Nice, huh? Those vacuum lines have had tendency to break. So it's actually getting windy. I don't know if I'm gonna keep filming this today or not. I'm gonna try. But basically, what that entails is we're going to take another piece of rubber hose that I was able to get, and we're just going to kind of connect where they broke off through the rubber line, and it should be okay from there. Another thing we're doing today is this might take a little bit longer. Hopefully it's not going to be that difficult. But in that same vicinity, we got that fuel pressure regulator, and I've decided I'm going to change it out. For a couple of reasons. Number one, it's idling rough, and I know that's a characteristic of a bad fuel pressure regulator. Number two, according to the Tech 2, when I have it hooked up, the last time I had it hooked up, it said it was running rich. Long-term fuel trim is running at about -6, and a bad fuel pressure regulator could be, this is actually the third point, we'll say number 3. You take off the vacuum line and you get a smell of gasoline. You shouldn't have any smell of gasoline. If that's a good pressure regulator, that fuel is getting up in past the diaphragm, and the rich part, I'm assuming, is coming from the gas vapors being recirculated into the intake from the vacuum line. So I think that's got something to do with it. Number 4, obviously the catalytic converter on this thing is junk, and that could be the reason why. If it's, that running that rich, if it's not regulating the fuel pressure and there's, more raw fuel getting dumped into the converter, it's going to ruin it, and that could be the reason why the cat was bad on this. So I've decided to, and one more thing, I'm noticing hard starts, so we're losing fuel pressure, I do believe, once the car has been running and then you shut it off for a while, and the fuel is leaking back somewhere. So that's what I'm assuming. Could it be some bad injectors? It could be, but even if this doesn't really solve all of my problems, I know for a fact there should not be a gasoline smell coming out of this line when you have it off. So regardless, that regulator is bad. As you can see, there's snow. It is freezing out here. So we're going to try to do this quick. Shouldn't be that bad. I am a little worried about these vacuum lines in the way because, again, it is cold. And yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is I do want to make sure there's no pressure in the system. Now this thing hasn't run today. It's been sitting here for 2 days actually, just sitting here. So there may be no pressure in it. There may be some left in the line. I don't know. But we're going to play it safe. We're going to take the fuel pump relay out, try to start it, see if it runs for a few seconds before it stalls. When it stalls, we'll know there's not that much pressure in there. Our fuel pump is micro relay number 18, and number 18 is right there in the middle. Fuel pump. So we'll try and start it, and then from there we just need a torque screw bit, and this is going to be the tough part, the crescent wrench. I don't know. I'm really hoping we can get to that lower nut on that fuel line without having to take a whole bunch of stuff off. It seems like there's always going to be something in the way. Crap. If I can get the throttle to stay open, get in through there. I did buy a new pressure regulator, but after I bought it, we actually had one at the school off of a junk engine, and I did test it and it's good. So they told me that I can just go ahead and use this, and if I can get my money back on the other one, save me a little bit of money. So this like I said, I put a vacuum tester on it and it held vacuum. So we're gonna try this, and I'll hang on to the new one, which is in the Fusion actually. I'll hang on to the new one for a little bit. But we'll put that one on first and see if it's you know, worth keeping or not. If not, no big deal. But that's what we're gonna put on. Yeah. So I guess I really didn't have to get out of the car. We'll go ahead and try and start it and let it die. Brr! It wasn't this cold earlier. The sun was out. It's getting cloudy, so it's getting cold. Let's turn that down. Alright, let's see if there's anything left in this rail. Look at that, there wasn't even anything in there. If there was still something in there, that thing would have, you know, turned over pretty, you know, fired pretty quick. So we got nothing in there. So now we can assume that, you know, there's nothing in the rail, which means we can attempt to go ahead and take that thing off. Hopefully without breaking anything else. Like this. I'm really worried about this. Ooh. Yeah. So I'm really hoping we don't have to take the throttle body off, but I have a piece of wood and a brick holding the throttle down right now with the gas pedal. So there's still a little bit of room I can get to, but right now that seems to be where it's at. So if we can at least get this out. It's kind of tight. It's a T something 27. So we're gonna get this bolt off here. Alright, so we got the bolt out. And now all we gotta do is get that nut on the fuel rail, on the return line off. And this is the part that I'm kind of worried about. But other than that, once that's off of there, all we really need to do is just pull the one side out of the fuel rail here and pull it up off that return line, and hopefully this will go okay. We are going to loosen up our throttle cable plate because this PCV hose, you know, the grommet that goes into the throttle, or right after the throttle body there, it's covered up by this plate, and I really don't want to break that line because of how cold it is. So we'll just loosen this up. Oh, they're 10s. It might not even really move because there's one more bolt down here. So I don't even know if it's going to want to move any. It might not. No. Alright, so I pulled the engine pull plate off of the side of the head. Might give me a little more room to get my vice grips in there. Two 15mm bolts. I was able to snake my PCV hose out of the throttle, or out of the intake manifold there, so it's out of the way. And now I just gotta try to get that nut swinging around. The only other thing that's probably gonna hinder me is this coolant line, and I'm not taking that coolant line off. No. So we're gonna try to swing it like this. Man, I'm freezing. I don't know. There are people who work out in the cold for a living, man. Mobile mechanics and such. Ooh. I don't know. We're just now finally getting into the real cold of this winter. It's the wind mostly. But we've had a pretty mild winter so far. And we're supposed to be in the single digits real soon. So this is the first time I think I've been out here this year working in the cold like this. So, alright, let's try and get this return line off of this regulator. We're getting it. Alright. Jeez. There goes that. That's going to be fun to get put back on. We got to pull it out of the rail and off of the line. Don't know which is going to be easier. Considering the angles that I'm at. There we go. A little bit of gasoline is coming out. It's probably going to eat away at my paint on that I painted. And now we got to get off the line. Just like that. Nice. Alright, and there it is. Alright. Alright, so that was one of the things that I was kind of confused about with these is when I found this one, you know, it looks like there's a spot there for an O-ring. I know it's kind of corroded, but the one I took off doesn't have it either. And even the new one, you know, look, there's not one there either, but there's the ring on the rail side, likewise here, and on that one too. So is there supposed to be a ring down there? I mean, I haven't had one and it hasn't been leaking. So I don't know. I'm just gonna put it on as is. So yeah, so we'll, like I said, we're gonna run with this one for a while and see if you know, it tested good. It did test good. It held vacuum for a while, and like I said, we'll hold on to the new one for a little while just in case. So let's go ahead and get this on. All right, so we got our line back on there. It's all screwed in. Should be up in there nice and tight. Doesn't take a whole lot to really tighten that, so it's not like you have to go too far, you know. Once it gets snug with your vice grips, just kind of, you know, nudge it. It'll actually start to tighten everywhere else. Make sure you tighten this too first, and I'm hoping that's in all the way. We're gonna find out here in a second. That's one thing I miss about my Aztec. I had all this room in the front fascia to put everything. I don't have that luxury anymore with this car. Alright, fuel pump relay back in. I'm probably going to prime it a few times to build that pressure and see if anything is leaking. Obviously, we do not want that. Wonky gas pedal. All I smell is gas now, so Hear the pump. Okay. Anything dripping there? It's gonna be tough because I got gas on the bottom of the thing. Let's see. Oh, that could be from what was running underneath. Let's try that. Wipe it down. Alright, so I don't feel it now. Alright, well, let's go ahead and give it a shot. In the meantime, also, I'd like to see where our fuel trims stand after we let it run for a while, see if they kind of correct themselves. No, I think we're good. I don't feel anything coming out from under the rail. The turn line feels like it's sealed. She's going to be noisy when she's cold. Those lifters are making noises when it's cold. I think it's okay. I think we did good for the amount of room that we had. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright, so I'll let it run for a little bit and then we'll hook the Tech 2 up and see if maybe it makes any fuel adjustments. This could also be the reason why this car's been sucking down gas. I know the whole thing with the hard starting and whatnot can be a whole bunch of other things, like a leaking injector. I think we proved our leaking injector because when we didn't have the fuel in the rail, like with the pressure before we started doing this, if there was any fuel that leaked down from the injector, I'm sure it would have at least sputtered or something, but we got nothing. So I think the injectors are actually pretty good. The only other thing that I could think of, we don't have any exterior fuel leaks, but in the fuel pump there's a check ball, I think, that will actually also help hold pressure in the lines. If the fuel pump is going bad, maybe not the pump itself, but the check ball or check valve in the fuel pump, that could also be why it's losing pressure. But this isn't a bad place to start here. Still dry. We're finally getting warm down there though. Engine's still, other than that, running pretty good. Oil still looks pretty decent. Nothing on the cap. Looking normal still. She's been doing pretty well. Alright, so far so good. It does kind of feel like it's running a little smoother, so that could be good. I hate where this DLC is located. Alright, stay there. We obviously know the service engine light's on for other reasons. There's two reasons actually. Not only do we have the inefficient cat code, but we also have a code for a small evap leak, and I have an idea where that's at. This is the 3.4 we're looking for, the LA1. We'll do this first. I'll show you guys the codes that we have. Oh, that's because we did the we pulled the relay, so we can actually get rid of that. There's our catalytic converter, obviously. Small evap leak, and there's 2 more codes. Theft deterrent, fuel, oh, passed. Okay, I don't know what that's about. And class 2 data link high, passed. Okay, so we're not worried about those. The evap and this catalyst, those are the only 2 current codes. So let's go ahead and get out of there. Data display. Engine data. Let's look at fuel trim. You know what? Let's just go to engine data and look at some other things there. We're in closed loop now. Our O2 sensors, you can see how fast they're changing. They're changing rapidly at the same time, so there's nothing, no cat doing its job. We're actually running lean now. That could be because of that vacuum hose that is torn. That could be a possibility that's, you know, obviously the next leak. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna fix that line now or not because of how cold it is. Let me take a look out there and just see if maybe that tape came open. I just wanted to try and tape it off, so yeah. This is in. That should be in. Yeah, that's in. We didn't mess with anything else. Our pressure regulator goes to the map sensor. Map sensor's pushed in. Unless I cracked it. Hopefully not. I don't think I did. Or maybe it still has to adjust to itself. Like I said, last time I looked at this thing, which was a week or 2 ago, we were running at -6 long-term fuel trim. So now we're running a little lean. That might go away, like I said, after I fix that vacuum line. Always really afraid to look at the misfire counters. Cylinder 2. Cylinder 2. Very curious. Cylinder 2. You know what? I might have an idea. Could also explain the lean also. Did I ever show you guys the crack on the plenum? Maybe it got worse. Oh, maybe it did. Yeah, that little guy. I don't know where that came from. Maybe he's finally letting some air in. That chamber there actually goes to cylinder 2. They crisscross underneath. Keep that in mind. So if this port here is leaking, it's going into cylinder 2. So it may actually be time for me to find another plenum. Unfortunately, I got this one looking so pretty. Which means all that crap's gonna have to come back off again anyway. So that could be, if 2 is missing, that could be the issue. So what I'm going to do now is I'll go ahead and shut it off. It is almost at temp. Does 2 still miss? It probably will. It's always something with my little project cars. Always something. But that's kind of why I buy them, you know? I buy them to fix them, to learn as I'm entering the field of automotive technology. It's not really missing now. But I don't know. I've seen it enough to now wonder if that was going to be an issue. Oh, see, there we go. 2 misses. Very interesting. Alright. One more time, let's look at our fuel trim. And we're still running a little rich. Or lean, sorry. We're running lean now. So, alright, 4%. That's still not terrible. Ideally, we want to stay at 0. It does look like our, our short term is at 0, so it's kind of, the short term fuel trim is basically temporary adjustments being made to keep the car running at its best. The long term fuel trim is going to be basically what the calculations, the long term calculations obviously are. And as of now, it's rich, so. Or lean. I keep wanting to say rich because that's all it's ever been. Alright. So let's go ahead and shut it down. And give it a few minutes and see if it actually wants to start without any hesitation. Alright, I've decided while we're waiting for this to kind of relax so I can see how quick it starts, we'll go ahead and fix that line. So I already kind of cut into the other harness, and there's the other piece of line. I'm going to try to get a little more out without destroying that loom. And obviously this, I'm going to try to get this off. Here's what I'm using. Now this is a little overkill. Obviously we'll cut it down, but it's pretty snug tubing. I don't know exactly what size diameter that is. Probably can't even really see it. There it is. Got some Vaseline to grease up the ends going into it, because it is pretty snug. So let's see what we can come up with. Alright, and there's what we got as far as this goes. That was very challenging to get it into that. I nicked a wire. God darn it. I didn't notice that until now. Oh, man. I mean, it's going to be taped up, but I wonder what that goes to. It's a black wire. Oh, let me guess. The mass airflow sensor. No? Aren't there 3 wires on this one? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a black one. I think black is for the mass airflow sensor. Let's go ahead and start it up anyway, before I tape all that up and just make sure that all this stuff is in order. Oh, it's not going to change it. Yeah, right now it's the vents are blowing out of all 3, even though it's on defrost. It's blowing out of there, it's blowing out of the dash vents, and it's blowing out of the floor. Let's see if that changes. Started pretty good. Hey, there we go. All right, we're back to the vents where they should be. Let's go to the floor. I heard the vacuum. It changed. Just the floor and side vents. Yep. Oh, all right. Out the front only. There we go. It's the little things, you know. Nice. And that is some pretty tight tubing, so I don't think there should be a problem with that. I wish I didn't unplug this. Now I gotta do it again. So I'll let it run again for a little bit and see if our fuel trims change any. Keep an eye on that one weird misfire. Where is that DLC? Gosh. Oh man, we're even leaner. I have a feeling now that 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 fuel regulator was replaced, and all the other rich fumes were probably compensating for that, maybe that leak in that intake, possibly. Yeah, now it's running lean. I don't know. Oh wait, we are correcting. Look at that. No, we're going back to lean. Yeah. Yeah, the PCM was trying to compensate. It might change after it's actually driven too, but that's probably where it's going to sit for a while. Alright, and there we have it. Almost looks good. It's all back in there, and yeah, that's it. It works. It really doesn't even look any different. You wouldn't be able to really tell. So that's it. Jade gave us another topic for this weekend's video. And the plenum thing is something that I would like to take care of. But like I said, I don't know how soon it's going to be with all of this cold and snow. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear. I'll continue to monitor how this thing's going to run. I'll keep the Tech 2 on it from time to time and see what happens. I'm going to take it out now to go get some dinner, and I'll see how it acts then. But that's it, guys. So if you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. That's all I've got for today, guys. I will see you next time. I want to thank you so much for watching. Take care.